Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. We have a super insightful webinar for you. We're going to be talking about online customer experience. But the cool thing, we're not just going to be talking the basics. After all, what you really need is a high-performing customer experience that's tuned to answer really just one question that matters most, and that is, what is my visitor most likely to buy right now? After all, that's again what's going to get you your sales results that you're working so hard for. So today we have an in-depth interview with Crate & Barrel. We're going to learn how they improved their online experience and have scored big results with that. Now, before I get started, there's a little bit of housekeeping. All participants will be muted during our approximately 30-minute webinar. Now, we will be recording this session, so you will receive the link to that recording via email as a follow-up. And at any time, if you have any questions, please ask. Just type away in the Q&A button that's in your Zoom console, and we will be doing a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. My name is Bob Angus. I'll be your moderator today. I'm a strategic marketing consultant working with SLI, and I've been very fortunate to help merchants grow their business in my work certainly here at SLI, but also at PayPal, Symantec, and Commission Junction. And I was a contributing editor at Practical eCommerce. Now, today you are in for a real treat. I get to interview Heather Gassman, e-commerce product manager at Crate & Barrel. Now, Heather has been working in e-commerce product management, digital analytics, and optimization for the past 18 years. Now, outside of work, Heather looks forward to family time, which is awesome. Playing soccer also, and this is a cool one, and learning to play the drums. So any of you on Xbox One Rock Band stars that think you could challenge her, try to find Sparky Branch 47. She's accepting all challengers. Cool. Well, thank you, Heather. Thank you for joining us.
Sure. Thanks for having me. It's actually Sparkly Branch.
Oh, Sparkly Branch.
Sparkly Branch. Yes.
All right. Yeah, so Xbox One, take on Sparkly Branch 47, and good luck with that. So today, what you'll learn in this webinar, we're going to cover, what trends are driving change in customer experience design, how relevance is impacting conversion rates, and really, again, that's all about product discovery, the impact that product discovery can have for you. And then also how machine learning and merchandising processes are evolving, and how it can help you take your game to the next level. Now, the pressure is on for you to deliver on big online sales growth. We know that the growth is there. And you need to basically turn more shoppers into buyers. You can't afford to have your hard-earned traffic bouncing once it gets there. That's why optimizing your customer experience is more important than ever. Now, SLI just released the findings in their debut e-commerce performance indicators and confidence report, or known as the EPIC report. What they did, when asked what is your most important initiative for your online business in Q1 2017, the #1 response was customer experience. More than replatforming, mobile, or even getting more traffic through advertising and search. Customer experience was the top. Also, if you want to check out that result as well as the other results of the report, just go to that bit.ly link there, bit.ly/epic report, and you could download it there. Now, customer experience, I mean, really, truly, it is that important because, you know, we recognize that savvy shoppers are now demanding fast and really a delightful online shopping experience. You know, any way we can speed that path to purchase is going to improve conversion rates and bring customers back again and again, which drives higher lifetime customer value, which we all want. The most critical part of the buying experience is fast product discovery. You know, shoppers, you know, at the end of the day, they can't buy what they can't find, right? Your customer experience needs to be tuned, as I mentioned before, to really answer that one critical question. You know, that customer is on your site right now. What is that customer most likely to buy in this session? Now, the tough part isn't knowing that you need to improve your product discovery or your customer experience, or it's also something, you know, it's not even the challenge of implementing the core functionality or creating a beautiful design. You know, the big challenge is the massive amount of time it takes to merchandise. Or worse, once you're spending all that time, how do you really know that you made the best choices that are truly optimizing your sales? You know, there's certainly a big focus on leveraging machine learning technology to answer those questions and to get the best results and hopefully to save you time. In fact, that's the fundamental philosophy behind a lot of the machine learning technology of SLI's buyer engine. But that's ultimately it, is we need to find out how can I best optimize my sales. And so that's why we have Heather here. She's deep into that core customer experience at Crate & Barrel, and she's constantly striving to get that perfect product in front of the shoppers so that they could buy. So with that, let's kick off this interview. Welcome, Heather.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so just to get started, tell us about yourself and Crate & Barrel's brands.
Sure. Well, as Bob said, I've been in the industry for the past 18 years. I've kind of toggled my own career back and forth between digital analytics as well as product management, because I can never decide whether I like to measure more or essentially tell people what to build. So I kind of go back and forth. And one of the things, Crate's been around since 1962. We were started by Gordon and Carol Siegel in the Chicagoland area, and the stores have really grown over, the brand has grown over the past years to having over 100 stores nationwide, as well as we've expanded to have franchises in other countries. CB2 has been around, joined the team or joined the brands, I believe in 2000, and we acquired Nod at around that same time. And Nod was started in 1996, and we acquired them later to sort of round out the brands.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, about us as far as e-commerce goes, some interesting facts. So we have 9 product managers in e-commerce focused on all 3 brands. So we have a team that focuses on the housewares path to purchase and registry as well, gift registry. We have a furniture team, a checkout team, SEO team, the search and tools team, which I am on, in-store digital and apps. And the way that we pretty much operate is that each team is a cross-functional team led by a product manager, such as myself, and a lead developer. And most teams have one QA resource, that helps work on their items, and we have additional developers that are sort of a pooled model depending on what the biggest projects are or the workload is by team that gets allocated every couple of weeks so that we can quickly move on bigger projects, but always keep a momentum.
Wow.
And on my team specifically, we have newly added this year a search specialist role. So she is sort of a combination analyst as well as sort of like search tuner. So you'll see more about that as we go on.
That is excellent. So you're really fine-tuning that organization around customer experience and thinking how the shopper is, really experiencing every step of the way through the site.
Exactly. I kind of like to think about it. Actually, my team is probably the most broad, but most of the teams have a real laser focus on the KPIs that best suit their goals, right? So Houseware's team is focused on getting that path to purchase for a houseware shopper. Furniture is getting that path to purchase perfect for a furniture shopper. Checkout is really specifically trying to make sure that there are no problems once a person becomes, is starting their checkout process. SEO team is looking at driving traffic by making the right content available on the pages. My team, we kind of have a dual focus in that our revenue driving opportunities in search are one thing that we focus on, but we also build all of the tools that really, we manage the tools and build the tools that everyone internally here uses to build the website. So the brand team, the merchandising team, all of our tools that they use to put the website up are managed by our team as well.
Well, so lots going on. So tell me, what are the big opportunities and maybe some challenges also in 2017 that you're looking at?
Absolutely. Well, we are always very focused on delivering a beautiful website to the customer, letting the customers see what it is they need to see to decide to actually walk into the store or make that purchase. So for years, we have been refining the site experience, and I would say that was sort of a theme specifically last year for us, was to do online merchandising optimization and site experience optimization. This year, our focus is more on personalization and continually optimizing the flow, as well as the digital learning, the machine learning that we can grow by partnering with tools like SLI. We just launched our custom furniture, new custom furniture section, so check us out. We think that customers want a lot of options. They want to look at frames with hundreds of different options of fabrics and choices. So that's a big initiative for us. And we're essentially trying to, some of the underlying stuff that's not so sexy and customer focused is the single code-based projects that we're working on to make sure that it's faster for us to quickly optimize whenever we do changes to the site, that we're able to do it quickly to both mobile and desktop at the same time across all of our brands, so that we are able to just move faster and faster all the time.
Yeah, being nimble with such a big site is critical. Cool. Well, tell us some more about your approach to product discovery.
Sure. As far as actually, if you want to go to the next slide, I think we have for search, like, well, I guess I'd say a lot of customers will come to the site and they might just be in a browse mode. A lot of those people will tend to go down the browse route, which is picking from one of our categories that's in our header and starting to navigate down. So in this screenshot, if you look behind where the type ahead suggestions are, it shows the dining entertaining category page. So this customer most likely clicked on the third tab to the left that says dining and entertaining. They come here, they see all their subcategories, they choose, they go down that route. That's
exactly what I did.
Yes, yep. So this is a very typical path for someone who's actually like just sort of window shopping, if you will. Like they might be starting to think about, you know, maybe they're bored and want to go check out, see if maybe they broke a plate from their wedding registry and they're like, does Crate and Barrel still have this plate? You know, like they're going down to see what do we got there? Maybe I want to change out the whole set. So a lot of times that the shoppers first starting will go down that browse route. And then when they start to get a little bit more serious, or if they really are coming in with a stronger intent to purchase, we find that they tend to use search. So it's a plus for me as far as my key performance indicators, like my KPIs are higher than the browse route because of that likely intent. That customer is usually higher on the intent to purchase scale. They are here to get it done. Yep. The third thing is, I mean, depending on, because we are both housewares and furniture store, depending on the price for shipping or the kind of product that they're looking at, they often finish their journey in the store itself. So we want to make sure that, you know, their whole process, start to finish, we provide a consistent experience, an easy experience, and essentially like a beautiful experience, if you will, something that they get excited. Our customers really get excited about the quality of our products, and you know, they want to come in and see the product if they're buying furniture. So we want to make sure that they know what products they can get to in their local store.
Yeah.
In this case, we and we'll talk about this more later, but one of the ways we're doing that with search is that instead of just we just launched this not too long ago, and we're testing into it, which is a more beautiful type ahead experience, so that as they're typing in the dinnerware, we help direct them to a more specific search that might be more likely to convert higher. And we're showing them some of the pictures of our top products.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's very cool. Not just showing those necessarily just the keyword suggestions as words, but, you know, taking advantage of all those beautiful products and the beautiful pictures on your site really helps move people along.
Absolutely. I mean, there's statistics out there that you can look up about type ahead usage, and it's pretty much widely accepted that a customer that selects from a type ahead suggestion is likely to have a much higher revenue per visit than a customer that just searches. So we're trying to maximize that even more and draw that viewer's eye to this section. Yeah, so definitely, since we launched this, we've now launched it on all 3 brands, and we're testing on all 3 brands, but the usage of selecting from type ahead has actually gone up 42%. Nice. So exciting.
Fantastic. Well, now the other important, you know, besides being beautiful, it also has to be relevant, right? So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Key important.
Yeah. How important is that relevance to you?
So, well, this is actually the crux of any search engine. So when we were looking at which search engine we wanted to go with for the future, obviously, you know, they had to be good at coming up with relevant products. This just sort of showcases something that, like, a concept that we're working on with SLI, and they're amazing partners in that they let us change these weights without, like in the past, in our previous search engine, we would have had to get developers involved with doing this. And it would have been kind of a scary endeavor all the time to change that relevance. But one thing that this is what we're doing, where we pipe in all this data to SLI, and we've worked with them to set certain relevancy weightings for these things that we think are the most important elements for finding the right product. So for us, because most of our searches are actually what I would call type searches, that means they're just searching. We have so many products that they are searching for vase. They're searching for whisk, the product type. This is the most important thing to us. So we give it a high weighting. We look at what does the title have? Is there extra relevant information in our SEO content? If they're searching for certain fabrics, sometimes they've already known certain fabric names or specialty colors. Then we pipe in all these other tags, which have to do with the size, the care, the shape, the style, all sorts of things like this, which we're constantly working on adding more and more from our system and cleaning up that data to make sure it's not going to ruin other results.
Right.
It only, add additional value. So then we look at the category, and some people may have expected that the category would have been higher, but because of the way that we merchandise our site, sometimes we'll have a category that has the specialty items listed along with it. So sometimes a category can actually show you irrelevant results because certain products are listed in multiple categories. And so we really just care more about what the type of product is.
That's great.
Then, of course, we've got a lot of the flowery description, which can be good or bad depending on what words they choose to use. So we give that one its lowest score, but it's still useful for some of these words that wouldn't come through in a tag as being one of the top used words to describe the item.
Excellent. Okay. Well, now. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, well, this will actually show some more. We'll have some more.
Too, yeah, I was going to say, now balancing, because you have that core search experience and the relevance, but there's also probably a lot going on behind the scenes in terms of balancing your merchandising control and tuning and automation.
Absolutely. If you want to go, yeah. So this is just sort of a look behind the scenes of what does it work, how is our search working. The SLI product lets us actually tune specific results. So we can go into the system and say, hey, we really want to showcase this vase as being the first thing people see. So you could see from the slide that the tunings, whenever there's a score there, that will override everything. And next, the system will use its machine learning. So as people search for large vases, this is the product, this Evelyn large vase is the product that they're clicking on the most. So it would start to go, it would move its way up to the top, but yet not override what we said needs to be first. The next number down is the score. That's the relevancy score. So from the slide before where, it's coming up with this number based on all these tags to say, hey, this is the right product. This then takes the next step in deciding what product comes first. And finally, we've actually also imported this RPV value, which we've taken the last 30 days of our product for whoever saw this product, how much money did we make off of people that we got all the way to that product. So we have a system where once that score, if the score is even in the case of the Luana and the Cora vase, we want it to sort in order of revenue per visit because we want whatever is making us the most money to show up first, assuming that the relevancy of those products are equal.
That is great. That is great. Well, now, I guess this also helps us look and see And obviously the results here are not exactly what you see, but you can
Right.
do it that way.
Absolutely. So it goes beyond machine learning. So there's only so much. We don't want to get into tuning a lot of our products because that would just be a never-ending battle that we could never tune every single phrase. So what we do on my team is we try to look at trends and understand how people are searching. What's the conversion rate for that type of search? Like here you'll see, like when you search by type, it's indicative that you're earlier on in your journey. You haven't decided what type of plate you want. But then once you start to search by collection name, you know our products. You're looking for something specific. It makes sense that the conversion rate is higher for those customers. And some people, then there's all sorts of other ones. You can keep going down the list, but in this category for entertaining material was the most important. So when we learn how our customers are searching, that helps us understand what we need to test to see how it's performing and what levers we need to do. Like, do we need to change the relevancy algorithm? Do we need to tune more? What's trending, and what can we do to help improve our year-over-year growth? So we watch that very carefully. So what we'll do is we also look through our failed searches, and we work with the teams, the buying teams, to say, hey, these phrases, we should have product like this. Why is it not work? Why aren't we finding anything? Do we need to create synonyms, and what's the best synonym? Or hey, should we be buying these things? In this case, just tuning these 27 terms in 3 months' time led to an additional $132,000 of revenue. So, over 12 months, it will lead to that much. So it shows the importance of, like, you can't, there's always machine learning, but there's always a human element as well to understand that, hey, like, we're not putting the right text into our products to be able to be found by that machine, or we need more tags.
That is awesome. That is a lot of extra pie servers and shrimp cocktails and cupcake towers.
Exactly.
Cool.
What's a soup plate? I don't know. So
a soup plate, yeah, that would be challenging, but somebody searched for it, so who knew? I wanted to actually talk about testing, but then also kind of more specifically about your buying decision process, and maybe this kind of goes hand in hand with your testing approach. But can you tell me a little bit more about your build versus buy decisions?
Absolutely. Well, we for years had a system where the developers here didn't know the specialty code base, so we were afraid all the time to make a change because we're going into a system we didn't totally understand, and we would have to hire third-party consultants to come in and work with us, and really any change that we would make would be kind of that fearful, if we change the algorithm, we're going to have to do like months worth of testing because it might be good for the tray search, but what about white home office furniture? Like once you get to those longer tailed searches, your top searches are always these one-word searches of types for us. But down at search rank 1,502, who knows what kind of words are being coupled together way down there that are, if we mess with the algorithm, it's going to really hurt our results. So SLI was a great partner for us to work with because not only could we had more insight to what relevancy weightings there really were, and we could adjust those, but we could actually tune specific results that were the outlier cases that weren't, most of the time this algorithm will work, but in this case, we want to change it and hide these products or put these to the top. So that ability to just be able to tune a little bit here and there has really been amazing for us. That and all this data learning, like that was really a no-brainer for us, is having a system that gets better over time is without human involvement even, is an easy one to sell to your upper management team. I can share that after we launched, what we found with, we test into everything pretty much here. So when we launched our test for old vendor versus new vendor, it took the system about 4 weeks to learn, to see what are people clicking on, what do people search next. And after that 4-week learning period, we were, the next 4 weeks, we were really the true test of the systems against each other. And after that, our CB2's SLI version had a 4% higher conversion rate and 2% higher revenue per visit. And after 6 more weeks, so 10 full weeks of a test, the conversion rate had gone up to 5.4. So we don't really know where it's going to stop growing.
Hopefully
but
it doesn't.
we're excited. We're excited at the trend line. So it's been really awesome.
Yeah, that's great, and right, and that's always so critical. Is also you have that, not only the results happening and continuing to grow, but you're also making those data-based, data-driven decisions and learning constantly yourself, so that when you do have those requests into engineering, you know, you're not trying to get something on a product roadmap and waiting and hoping. And that's just engineers to change the system, let alone actually learn from that system.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, just showing, you know, having a system where you can easily tune and see these results go up, it's kind of changing the discussion about who do we need on staff. You know, we don't need to hire more developers to make this, you know, churn out more money. we actually just need to have better tags. And one thing I just want to say, the word tag, there's a such thing as tag management, which is sort of like something that actually I deal with as well. And then there's product tags, which are totally different. So tag management is sort of like pixels on your site where you send data out to various partners. There was a question online that came through in the Q&A, but and the internal tags that I'm talking about are sort of data feeds that we send to the engine, to the search engine, as inputs for that engine to come up with the relevancy score.
Cool. Okay. Well, hey, Heather, that's all my questions. How about this? Let's go ahead and get to the audience questions. Before we jump in to that, I just want to kind of recap, you know, again, reinforce probably what we've been hammering over is, like, there's a lot of work that goes into a high performance customer experience, and that really product discovery is one of those critical elements that's going to get you those big results. You can't go it alone. You can't engineer just, you know, your way to it all the time, you know, but really working together to get that merchandising process down and always be testing. That's going to get you those results that you want. And then, yeah, so I'll go ahead and start taking some questions. We did get some good questions coming in. So yeah, before, you know, start thinking those questions, ask those. If you get a chance, check out the Epic report that I mentioned earlier. Just go to bit.ly/Epic report, or tons and tons of information on SLI's website in terms of resources, you know, white papers, case studies, industry briefs, all good stuff. That's at www.sli-systems.com/resources. So yeah, let's get into some of the questions. Now, Heather, I did skip over a slide on testing. What is that latest test that you're looking at?
Well, right now, actually, the one site that's 100% SLI search is CB2. Crate and Nod are both 50-50 still, and all 3 sites, so those are 2 of the tests that I'm looking at, and then all 3 sites just got their type ahead tests launched recently as well. So CB2s has been up longer, so those are 3 more tests that I'm looking at. But we'll pretty soon we'll be also adding tests for desktop filtering experience for search, and then after that mobile filtering. Then we'll be moving on to the no search results page and looking at various ways to allow for different templates based on what you search, different ways of looking at your search results, bigger, smaller images.
Okay, cool. Now, actually, we got a question from one of the viewers about mobile and response. So in terms of that single code base, and is Crate and Barrel moving towards a responsive website? And that's not necessarily search or product discovery related, but it does impact, like you were saying, like there's a lot of work going in to the site. Hey, does that translate to the mobile experience as well?
It does. Right now, it's not responsive. I forget. There's a difference. Like it notices what type of platform you're on, and it serves up that experience. So it doesn't, as you change the size of your browser, it doesn't actually, it doesn't gradually change. It's sort of a on-off sort of situation, but it is a single code base in that when we make a code change, it does easily, we have to review it in both cases to make sure nothing went wrong, but it does speed up the development process quite a bit.
Great. Well, and your search results, does somebody see something different on a mobile experience than?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the smaller screen, it's only 2 products wide, as opposed to 4 on Crate. But we have a modified version of the suggested searches. We can only fit a few in there, but yeah, we're constantly trying to look at different ways that users may want to look at their results on mobile. Sort of like the swipe method is on the table versus some sites use grid views. So we're looking into that and talking to our customer base about what types of ways they would like to see that.
Cool. Now, speaking of type ahead, you're kind of back to the desktop world. One of the questions came in that for visual type ahead, you've seen usage go up 42%. How has type ahead conversion changed since launch? So more people are using it.
Absolutely.
Is it turning into dollars too?
Right. That's a good question. So I usually look at 2 metrics for search, both conversion rate and revenue per visitor. So both are important to me. It's kind of interesting in certain sites, some of our brands, some of these tests will really show a change in one metric, and the other brand will actually better impact the other metric. So for CB2, revenue per visit is sort of the bigger mover, and for Land of Nod, it's conversion rate. So for CB2, revenue per visit's gone up 2.6% across the board, but especially higher in mobile. It's already up 4%. So, and then conversion rate is following along sort of a little bit slower as far as growth. But one of the things we're interested in seeing too is that just because it's really cool and you're getting our visitors now that they have both search suggestions and product suggestions, the thing I was worried about was that having a visitor click on a single product suggestion at their first search may or may not be a good thing, right? It's good in that it's getting them further down that purchase path to purchase funnel, in that they're getting all the way to a product page, but is that the right product for them? And is it wrong to jump over the step of looking at your options, going straight to one product? Does that end up deterring them? That's sort of a key question. So we're going to be looking to see in the stats which section are people picking from, to see if that impacts the overall revenue per visit or conversion rate.
Excellent. We have time for one more question. This has been absolutely amazing. In terms of your conversions in store and online, how do you manage this with that continuity between that omni-channel experience?
So that's a tricky one. So how do I manage?
Are you able to, I guess, as part of the customer, you mentioned at the beginning that you have, as part of your site, one of the goals is obviously sending folks to, they might not purchase online, but you sure hope they're purchasing in store. Is there something about product?
Oh, absolutely.
To keep that continuity?
Well, one of the things that we have on our roadmap that will, like, search specific about that is that we want to make sure that we give our visitors a filter to be able to see what's available now online versus available in their nearest store. Some people just want to make that purchase like in the physical location, just because maybe they're sensitive to shipping prices, or they want to go in and sit on the sofa anyways. So that's one thing that we're going to be doing for omnichannel. But I guess the biggest thing is kind of keeping that, it's kind of the step of, we want our images in search to be reflective of the quality of the product. So that's sort of where we've started from, and making sure that they have this easy user experience so that it doesn't deter them from the process as a whole. That's just been our very basic starting point for search, to make sure that it fits on the website and it looks the same as our browse path, and so that it doesn't interfere with the buying process, like can sometimes happen when you have different teams making improvements in one section, but then another team is lagging behind. So that, just trying to make sure we're all on the same page.
That makes sense, yeah, because it all translates to that customer experience, and it's not just online, but it's in store as well. So yeah, having that kind of golden rule is probably really helpful.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, Heather, we are out of time right now. We still had a couple of more questions. So folks, if your questions were not answered, we will reply afterwards, directly via email. Heather, I learned a ton today. This is fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. And I invite anyone on the call to link in with me if you have, further questions or want to chat about search. I'm always eager to make friends in the search world and learn from each other.
That's great. Or if you think you're a good drummer,
challenge me.
Yeah, exactly. Challenge you at Sparkly Branch 47 on Xbox One. All right, Heather, thank you so much. This is great.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Bob.